Hello, everybody. My name is Jorge Rodriguez, and I am a physical education teacher at Harvard Elementary here in HISD. So today, thank you for joining us, first of all. And today we're going to be talking about curriculum navigation. So, how do we access our curriculum documents? And let's start off. I'm going to show you two different ways. So, the first way I'm going to show you is from the HISD website, and then after that, I'll show you how to access the unit plans from the hub. So, let's start off with the HISD website. First thing you have to do is go to houstonisd.org. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to directory, click on directory, and here we have all the different departments in HISD. So we're looking for our curriculum document. So first we're going to go to curriculum. And from here, everybody has access to this. You don't have to log in. The parents have access to it. Students have access to it. All the stakeholders have access to this, to these documents. So here where you see curriculum, you'll see pacing calendar, you'll see scope and sequence, you'll see a vertical alignment matrix. So let's take a look at our pacing calendar. When you click on that, it's going to ask you if you're elementary, middle, or high. So I am elementary, so let's go to elementary. And then here you can see all of the different pacing calendars that are available. And they're all in PDF format. What's great about the PDF format is you can download these and have access to them offline and at a later date. And you can even download them on your iPad, and you can have access to those offline as well. So I'm a physical education teacher, so let's go ahead and click on PE. See here, downloaded. And when I open it, it'll show me my pacing calendar. So these are the things that HISD recommends, the different units and the different parts of the year. So let's take a look at if I was an elementary math teacher for first grade, I can also see my pacing calendar for the year, and this will give me a good idea, a good guideline of where I should be and what part of the year. Okay. The next, the next, the next thing I want to show you is the scope and sequence. So if I look at the scope and sequence again, it'll give you the same options. I clicked on scope and sequence, elementary, middle, or high. I'm going to click on elementary. I'm an elementary school teacher again, and I can see the scope and sequence for all the different subjects. So if I click on physical education for third grade, I've downloaded that scope and sequence, and I can see the scope and sequence for cycle 1, cycle 2, and all through all the 4 cycles. It's a 9-week cycle, and we can see here the unit and the description of the unit. We can see um, the recommendation of how many classes and how long the classes should be, and we can see all of our TEKS listed. So when I'm talking about safety and rules in physical education, it is hitting these specific TEKS. And then when I get a little bit further down and I look at lead-up activities and movement, I'm hitting these specific TEKS and so on. Okay. So that would be the scope and sequence. And then we also have access to the vertical alignment matrix through the website. And again, all our stakeholders have access to this. So if I'm looking at, let's pick a different one this time. Let's look at English language arts. So if I look at the vertical alignment matrix for English language arts, I can see what they're learning in the different grade levels, right? So all the way up through fifth grade, because I picked on elementary. So here you can see all the different TEKS and what they're learning and how it aligns vertically from pre-K through fifth grade. Okay, and again, I'm a physical education teacher, so I'm a little bit more familiar with the physical education TEKS. And again, I can look at all of my vertical alignment matrix for physical education from pre-K, which are guidelines in the state of Texas, and all the way up through fifth grade TEKS. and I can see how they align. I can see what they learned in the previous year and what I have to work on, in the following year. So this is a great tool to see the year at a glance. Okay. So that's how to access some of those curriculum documents through the website. Now with this method, you don't have to log in. You can access them. You can download those PDFs. You can have access to them offline if you download those PDFs. And but you don't have access to the unit plans. Now those are more detailed plans, and so I'm going to show you how to get to those unit plans. So again, if you're on the HISD website, you would go to My HISD, and you can click on My HISD, or you can click on the pull down menu right here, and you can just log in through there. But I'm going to go ahead and click on My HISD. Now I'm on the HISD network, so on the HISD network I can just log in. If you're at home, you can go to the remote login. But I'm on the HISD network, so I'm going to go ahead and just log in, and this is what it looks like when you log in. So this is my portal, my HISD portal. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the hub. So I'm going to log on to to my hub, and this is what it looks like. So when I go to my home screen, this is what it looks like on my hub. Now what I have to do first, in order to have access to my HISD, or to my courses in my hub, is I'm going to go to courses, and I'm going to search the course catalog. So again, I'm a physical education teacher, so I'm going to type in on the search, I'm going to type in physical, oops, hit that wrong button there. So I'm going to type in physical education, okay, and I'm going to hit search. Now when I hit search, it's going to give me all the courses with physical education in the title. So I would pick on all the different courses that pertain to me. So if I'm teaching outdoor education, I would click on outdoor education. And then here I would find enroll in course. So when I enroll in course, it'll tell me that I've enrolled in that course, and now I have access to all the documents associated with that course. So what I would do is I'd go back to courses, and then I can see all my classes here that I have, enrolled in before, and then I can also see all of the guides, the unit planning guides here. So this is my first grade, second grade, so on, and the one I just enrolled in was the outdoor education course. So if I click on that, you'll see here on the left-hand side, I have access to all the different aspects of that course. So I have, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. And so here I have access to all the different documents on that course. I have the pacing calendar, the scope and sequence, and now you see here I have all the unit planning guides. And so if I click on, let's say, Unit 1, Part 1, I can click on that unit planning guide, and should pull up here in a minute. And now I have access to all the unit planning guides that pertain to that particular course, which this one is outdoor education, adventure outdoor education. So in the unit planning guide, it's just a more detailed shot of that unit. So it tells me all the TEKS that I'm following here. It tells me some of the safety conditions. It tells me all this information here, the key concepts, skills that are associated with it, different vocabulary, instructional considerations. In PE, I know they've added the national standards as well, so standards 1 through 5 and how it follows those. It has, let me get down here a little bit further, instructional strategies, a bunch of different online resources that I could follow, and just a complete guide to teaching this particular unit. So this is Unit 1 for Cycle 1 and Part 1. So if I wanted to look at Part 2, I could just go to Part 2, click on the unit guide, and it would take me through all the different aspects of this particular course. You also have access to, over here in the left-hand corner, the pacing calendar and the scope and sequence, just like we had before, but this is within the hub. So if we look at our pacing calendar, we could see where we are throughout the year. End of cycle 1, and we're starting cycle 2, and we can look through that. All the holidays, all the HISD holidays are on there as well. And then we can again look at our scope and sequence and take a look at the different units at a glance and see what TEKs we're following. So if we wanted a little bit more detailed, then we'd go into the unit plan, and we can have a more detailed look at how that unit would kind of unfold. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. This was, again, how to navigate your curriculum. I showed you 2 different ways, one through the website and then also through the hub where you can access your unit plans. Again, my name is Jorge Rodriguez, and I hope this was helpful for everybody, and you all have a great and wonderful day.